Jamaa Kano inaugural. I would have continued in Hausa, but there are a few people here who don't speak Hausa, so I'll just speak English. On the 20th of June 2019, at the inaugural meeting of the National Economic Council, Mr. President made the crucial declaration and charge to governors of the 36 states that not only must all states enforce free and compulsory education for the first 9 years of a child's school life, but also that to fail to do so would actually be a crime. I'm therefore gratified to be here with you to see the early fruits of Mr. President's charge. The governor himself had noted that on May 29, 2019, he made the declaration also that education for the first 9 years of a child's school life will be free and compulsory in Kano. So we must commend His Excellency, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, on this historic milestone. And it's a milestone for Kano, for this entire region, and for our country as a whole. Since the inception of this administration in 2015, our guiding principle has been the recognition that our greatest national resource is neither crude oil nor other mineral resources. It is our people. Nigerians are Nigeria's greatest asset. Our ability to compete in the global economic space depends on our human capital, and our economic aspirations rest on the quantum of skills and capacities that we have been able to nurture. It's a quality of human capital at our disposal that ultimately determines everything from the flowering of local innovation to the flow of foreign direct investments, the boosting of productivity, the creation of jobs, and indeed the entrepreneurial revolution that we have been looking for. This is why from the outset, we made a commitment to invest massively in improving the quality of our human capital. We recognize that education as the means by which people can give our people the tools with which they will live their lives to the fullest and most creative. Our Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, the ERGP, rightly prioritizes human capital development. It recognizes that the shifts in the global economy impose a burden on us all to reposition our education sector and prime our young people to adapt and thrive in the context of enormous technological and economic changes. These shifts also demand that we ensure that that the entire workforce acquires the critical skills required to drive economic growth. Now this is important because even as we work to increase employment opportunities that are available to Nigerians, many employers of labor cite unemployability as an even more salient challenge. Lack of skills, they argue, is a huge obstacle to hiring personnel. Between January and August this year alone, from only 23 of our 170 universities, 90,000 fresh graduates have entered the labor market. For these young Nigerians, getting employment will depend not only on the quantum of job opportunities out there, but also what it is that they have learned in terms of skills. What are the skills they have learned? With what have they been equipped? Their fate is a crucial test for the efficacy of our educational system. While we continually seek improvements in higher education and to enhance the competencies of our labor force, the starting point and the foundation for any progress in human capital development is basic education. It is in the precincts of basic education that we empower children with the fundamental cognitive tools to navigate and negotiate the world. According to UNICEF and several other statistics, we know already that 1 in 5 of the out-of-school children in the world come from Nigeria here. Just 61% of 6 to 11-year-olds regularly attend primary school, and only 35.6% of children aged between 36 and 59 months receive early childhood education. For a country with our aspirations, these figures are simply unacceptable and they leave a generation severely disadvantaged through no fault of their own. This is a deficit that we are now addressing diligently. Consequently, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan stipulates guaranteed access to qualitative universal education for Nigeria's children and youth. For us, this means vastly reducing the ranks of Nigeria's estimated over 10 million out-of-school children. Our national homegrown school feeding program, aside from addressing the poor nutrition and health status of poor children, which of course affects learning outcomes, was designed to drive an increase in primary school enrollment and completion. So working together with the states, our goal is to feed over 15 million school children. Presently, we are feeding 9.8 children every day in 32 states of the Federation. The centerpiece of our efforts is what is described as our Every Child Counts policy, which aims to mainstream skills and acquisition and increase enrollment, and to position Nigeria as a champion in the knowledge economy space. Under this policy, we are revising our curriculum and content to impart skills that are relevant to the emerging knowledge economy in the fields of science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths, as well as digital literacy, civic education, critical thinking, and entrepreneurial skills. We are working with states to raise the caliber of teachers and administrators that will be at the front lines of this campaign, and also to equip our schools and promote environments that are conducive to learning. One of the expected critical outcomes of our efforts to expand access to basic education, is the attainment of Mr. President's commitment to lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within the next decade. Indeed, it is our conviction that the inclusive prosperity which we see requires a commitment to inclusive education. This means addressing class, regional, and gender-based disparities in access to education. Kano lies at the center of that plan, because Kano itself is at the center of the region that has been historically considered a zone of educational disadvantage. Kano has always been reputed as a place of learning, and this landmark policy pronouncement on free and compulsory education will not only draw over 1 million out-of-school children in the state from the streets into the classrooms, but it also sets a hugely important precedent for other states to follow. We believe that as the most popular state in the north, Kano is eminently positioned to trigger an educational revolution across the region and indeed across Nigeria. I'm especially gratified to see that your policy of free and compulsory education specifically and unambiguously includes the girl child. Economic growth is simply impossible when a critical half of our population is denied the opportunities for empowerment. Indeed, the most prosperous societies on the planet are places where gender is no obstacle to education, and boys and girls enjoy equal access to knowledge. This is why we make access to education for girls a key priority in our economic recovery and growth plan. And Mr. President has repeated that in at least 3 subsequent speeches that he has made since June 20th. More than half of the girls in the Northwest today are not in school, and several other girls across the zones of the states of across the zones of Nigeria. But your commitment to educating girls in Kano State will most certainly turn the tide and arm our young women with everything they need to fulfill their potential. Lifting millions of our people out of poverty and improving the quality of life requires a positive conspiracy, a resolve across all tiers of government. And I believe that today we are seeing Kano State's exemplification of the type of partnership that is possible between the federal government and the states in the quest to revolutionize the education of the Nigerian child. We must again congratulate the government and the government of Kano State for the commitment to this cause and for sparing no resource in investing in the present and future generations of this state. Without a doubt, this is the stuff of which sterling legacies are made. The journey that you have begun today has only one destination, and that is the transformation of the cause of destinies of millions of children who before now had no hope. As that happens, the prosperous future of Kano State and Nigeria is also assured. I wish you every success as you set about this very important journey in our venture of progress. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.